Hi, yes, I am blonde now. Welcome to the beginning of yet another new series, as if I didn't already have enough of them. But this one is just one where I want to showcase more independent projects. I love indie films, and I love finding and exploring new artists, film directors, etc. And I originally had a different short film planned for this, but recently, last week, I saw a little feature that is still so new that it is in film festival rotation. It's not on streaming, it's not on physical, it's not even in theaters, and I feel like it's extremely appropriate to make this the first video in this independent series as I still figure out the format of how this one's gonna go. And this extremely uncomfortable, unnerving, lovely little film is called Skinamarink. Since this video's the first and I want to keep it a little shorter, a little simpler, and I'll just get more in depth with it as the series progresses, I just want to do a couple simple things with it. I want to talk about the film without spoilers, that's for sure. The second thing I want to talk about is who's involved with it, so for this I'll just be talking about the director, but as I get into more indie projects and get to learn more about other films, I'll definitely be involving other people associated with the filmmaking. And the last thing that I'll do is just plug whatever social media I can find and any way that you can support these people and what they do. So let's just get into it. The first thing I want to say about Skinamarink is holy shit. It's not often that a film makes me feel a genuine sense of terror. I'm not easily scared. My comfort movies are horror movies. I fall asleep to slashers, and I just think everything that is bloody, disgusting, horror is amazing. It's kind of what I just grow up with. But it's another thing to genuinely terrify me, and I kind of keep track of how I'm scared in a film depending on how anxious I am. Right off the top of my head, there are two films that I can think of when I think of films that have made me anxious, and they're really just scenes. Annihilation's bear scene was one that just had me clenching my seat while I was in the theater. And a couple shots here and there, a couple scenes from the first chapter of It also did the trick. Especially when I watched it a second time, I still felt anxious during those scenes, so I was like, okay, this is a genuinely terrifying movie. But those are scenes, those are short moments. Skinamarink is 100 minutes long, and for about 90 minutes, I was just on edge the entire time. Not a single moment went by where I just wasn't like this. I wasn't biting my nails or anything, but I was just grabbing at my face. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And I will only give the summary of what's already been given at film festivals like Fantasia. Two kids wake up in the middle of the night and their dad is missing. And the doors and the windows in the house disappear too. And it's just 100 minutes of that. Mind you, this is an independent project that is still in that film festival rotation and is still not really anywhere else to be seen. But I'm just so excited for it to have some sort of release or something soon. The director has teased it on his Twitter. He's an extremely cool guy. And I want people to watch this and feel that same sense of uncomfortable terror that I felt. It's not jump scares. It's not gore. It's something a little bit more primal. The sense that you get of just dread. You don't want anything bad to happen to these kids. And you're not in control, because this film is like an analog horror feature film done right. It's like the Mandela Catalog. It's like Channel 57, I think, was the YouTube series. It's like all of that done very well in 100 minutes. I believe that this is really just pushing the limits of what we can consider horror in different ways. And I really don't want to say a lot because the movie it's still not out yet. And I just want to make this video known because there's not a lot of talk about it, but it's growing. The talk about this film is growing, and I want to be a part of that. I don't want to set people's expectations to 100 because everybody reacts differently to different pieces of media. Everybody has their own opinions, and some people will find it pretentious. Some people will find it the most terrifying thing they've ever seen. I don't think it's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. I think it is the most uncomfortable film I have ever watched. I think when it comes down to hard to explain. I think when it comes down to a general, how do you feel watching this movie? This is the only movie where I felt helpless. Because again, it feels like analog horror, and the whole premise of analog horror is that you are in the position of a character. You're searching and finding out new information. You're in the midst of it all. It feels like it's affecting you personally, and you feel like you're babysitting these kids throughout pretty much the whole movie, and you can't do anything to help them. And something it wants them. It's and I don't even know what it is. I don't think anybody truly knows what it is. I have theories. I would love to have an interview with the director, Kyle Edward Ball. Wow. I just want to know what some of the thought process was behind it. I want to know how he felt about it. He had a short film that he made called Heck back in 2020. That one is available on YouTube if you actually want to check it out. I will most definitely be linking it in the description. And I watched it for the research purposes of this video, and I can actually see some influences from that short film that he made back ago to this feature film that has just recently come out. And I'm not going to talk anymore about the film because there's just so much to talk about, so many theories, so much amazing things. It's just so good to see like something fresh. And going into the movie, I was like, this looks like if David Lynch directed the Blair Witch Project. And coming out of the movie, I still felt that same way, except that's just how I would describe it to people who don't know who the director is. And granted, after this film, he's growing a name for himself. I can already see it. I've already heard talks about it. I keep talking to my friends about it. And at least personally, I can say that this is a Kyle Edward Ball film because I see the style that he's going through with this film. And after watching his short film Heck, which was essentially the inspiration for this film, I see his style. I see what he's going for. I'm so excited for whatever's to come. I think this man could direct the hell out of a feature-length Backrooms film if he really wanted to. None of that internet lore bullshit. Something just genuinely terrifying, like being stuck in the backrooms, because that's what this film felt like, and I know Kyle could probably pull that shit off. But what about Kyle? Well, from what I've gathered, he's a Canadian filmmaker, and he made one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever had to watch, and I see that his work is pretty experimental, and some of the stuff that he's done in terms of like horror is just, I like it. Where can you find him? Well, as of right now, I just know him on Twitter, which, funny enough, he gave me a follow back, and I couldn't be more grateful. I love that. Hopefully he checks out this video too, just so that he can feel that love for what he's created, because I know it's a great thing when you can create something and people can enjoy in it, and I want him to know that it is enjoyable. Might be fucking uncomfortable, but that's what I like. I could say this for sure. When it does come out on physical, if it does come out on physical, whether that be a steelbook, a DVD, a Blu-ray, whatever, I will buy it. I will be buying it. I will be supporting it because that's really all I want to do. I can't talk about this movie enough. I don't want to talk about this movie anymore until I get a chance to actually own it, review it, and other people can see it from the comfort of their own homes, because I want y'all to go out and see it. That's really going to wrap up this video though, so let's make a creepy outro. Lights flickering. I think I've set the mood. Well, goodbye.